Welcome to CCRPG, where we open up our virtual table and play games with some good friends. I'm Bob, and I'll be running Lancer, an RPG by Miguel Lopez and Tom Parkinson-Morgan. You can find it on itch.io. Last time, the DBC crew managed to successfully extract a mech containing the exotic ferrofluid they've seen distributed among smacked forces recently. In accordance to their agreement, White Rabbit has taken possession of the mech, and, despite some complications, are now drawing up plans to take the fight to Smack. Knowing the scales still needed balancing, the pilots also successfully negotiated for the cooperation of Kingfisher and Bete Noir. They will need the help. While the other FSP groups were salvaging, Smack has been fortifying their position to unknown ends. In addition, the presence of Mark Irons and his elite mercenary crew, the ferrofluid, and the advisory skill of Donahan all add unknowns to the equation. Pilots, where do we find you this session?
I'd also like to add for the record that I was able to secure Bete Noir's cooperation with no strings attached.
Correct. I disagree.
Okay, so just diving in with some revisionist history immediately.
Yeah.
Hard disagree.
No, you see, that's what Astro wrote on his script of this mission. See, he was trying to make a movie out of it, so he made it seem better than what it was.
Yeah, he just writes in like through charm and wits, he convinces them to do what he needs, and then some other like punch-up writers come in afterwards, and they're like, "This doesn't make sense with the flow of where this story was going. What is this?"
Hey man, the true historians are the survivors. If Bete Noir doesn't survive, we get to say what we want.
Oh man!
Are you
All right, keep that in mind as an optional objective, I guess.
Backstab them. Yeah, I'm sure.
New subquest. Kill all survivors so we can make a good movie for Astro.
I mean, every movie needs a good double cross, but maybe that's a little too ambitious for us now.
Maybe we don't want that to happen. You ever consider that?
All right.
Anyway.
Well, yeah. So I imagine we're all together after I made some calls, and Astro's just like, all right, everyone's on board. Believe it or not, we finally got everyone on our side against Smack. What now?
I could go for some waffles.
Waffles. I don't think we ever got that on the menu.
The real question is, do waffles exist in this time period? I don't see why not.
Space waffles.
Tell you what,
waffles.
Evelene, instead of a pizza party, when we celebrate our victory, we can have a waffle party.
No,
I disagree.
We're
Pizza's
deleting
better
that
than waffles.
Nope. We're going back. We're deleting that from the record. Forget what Astro said. Let's move on.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, do we go after Smack at this point, or wait for them to come to us?
Well, I feel like the longer we wait, the more the better advantage we're giving Smack. They're fortifying. They're not looking to make an offensive, at least not yet.
Let's be fair. Do you think White Rabbit has the patience to wait?
Probably not.
Nope.
At least their leader doesn't.
There you go.
He's pretty pumped up. So
I mean, are we looking at all-out war? Like the other pirate groups attacking at the same time, all out going for it, or?
I think what most likely to happen is White Rabbit initiates, and then the other two join in.
That would be my guess.
Yeah, the other two probably won't take the initiative, but they will support us once things get rolling here.
Well, then it sounds like we need to talk to them about what their plans are and what our parts are in it, if any. But, I mean, shouldn't our goal be to kill that stupid clown?
Pound foolish? Probably. But I have a feeling he's not completely calling all the shots here. Maybe, like with Mark Irons and Donahan, he's expendable.
I got the impression he was calling the shots from Donahan.
Well, yeah, Donahan did kind of make it sound like he was in a compromised position he wasn't a huge fan of. That said, I still kind of wonder if he's, manipulating things behind the scenes as much as he's able to in his position. Well, let me step out of character real quick here. Last time Astro talked to, oh my goodness, I'm forgetting his name. My contact within White Rabbit.
Cruxtroy?
Talonflare or
Talonflare, yeah, Talonflare.
White Rabbit.
Because you have two friends, kind of, in White Rabbit. Talonflare is your recently made friends.
Yes, and Hale.
Yeah, Hale Oberruder is your contact that you knew as part of the FSP before this mess went down.
Talonflare is who I met. Last time I talked to him, was he saying like what he thought White Rabbit was gonna do as a result of this information? I know the big man, the leader. I forget his name too. All of a sudden, I'm just forgetting everyone's names.
Galleon.
So sorry. Yeah, Galleon. He seemed pretty mad, like he was ready to just like go to war. Did I get a sense that they're just gonna mobilize and start shooting?
You got a sense that they were getting ready for something, but I would say that hadn't been nailed down.
Okay. All right, so back in character. Astro will say, "Well, I can call up Talonflare again and see if we can, strategize and maybe, see how we can orchestrate this offensive going forward."
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Yeah, I'll give him a call.
Okay. You call up Ken then.
Yep.
It does take a minute for the answer to come over. But eventually Ken comes online and is like, "Oh, Astro, hey, how are things?"
Good. Great show last night, by the way.
Yeah, thanks.
So
are you on video call?
Yes.
Okay. There are dark bags under Ken's eyes.
Late night, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Not all of it the fun kind.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, I just figured maybe I'd call you up and we can synchronize a little bit here. I know Galleon's probably chomping at the bit here to take the offensive to Smack. What do you say we aim to take out the head of the snake, Pound Foolish?
Yeah, that's the plan. I'm gonna tell you that in many of the strategy meetings that I've had to attend, there is a vocal minority that keeps calling for the head of the clown. I will let your imagination fill in who that is.
I can imagine, yeah. What do you think? What's your take?
He like rubs his brow as he like thinks. He's like, well, Smack is bigger than us, just in terms of amount of people. I give even odds to the fact that we're better than they are, because they just grab every shaft they can get a hold of. But also, it sounds like they have an elite inner system mercenary group working for them. So, good question, Astro. I'm not entirely sure.
Well, I guess that makes two of us. I do think it would probably be a good idea to take out the clown, but even so, I'm not entirely sure that's going to stop this elite mercenary group or even slow them down necessarily.
I hate to ask this, Astro, but
yeah.
Have you made any progress with the others?
Yes, they're all on board. Believe it or not, I can scarcely believe it.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Wait. Okay, so what did Kingfisher actually say?
Kingfisher, okay, let me jump out of character again. Can anyone help me remember what Kingfisher said? This is one of my bad memory episodes where I just can't remember anything.
I'm pretty sure Kingfisher was, Bete Noir's not going to stab us in the back. All right.
Yeah, that was my understanding.
Was the summary of it.
They sort of were just we will follow you into battle, do the honorable thing. But I guess the sense I got is that they weren't going to necessarily take the initiative, but once things started, they would come in and help. Is that what you guys remember too?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So Astro will say, well, I appealed to their sense of chivalry and honor. And I showed them the evidence we gathered, and Kingfisher was convinced. I don't think they're going to, shoot the starting shot here, but once things get underway, they'll be supporting us.
So you got them to say they would fight Smack.
I don't think they want to sit out while other people are fighting these battles. It would be dishonorable.
Okay.
So, yes.
That's great, Astro. But can you tell me that someone important in Kingfisher said for sure they were going to be part of the fight on our side?
Yep, the king himself. I talked to him directly.
Evelene just kind of coughs, says, Cruxcroy!
Yes. His Royal Highness, Cruxcroy.
Use a damn name, Astro.
Well, if he said that, I mean, that's pretty much as good as an already cast check. That's damn. Okay. That's...
Yeah.
I mean, say what you want about Kingfisher and being up their own ass, but when the fires are going, you can rely on them to do what they say they're gonna do. And what about Bete Noir?
Bete Noir was a bit more difficult. There had to be a little quid pro quo between me and them, but they're also I also secured a promise they would support us.
What does that mean?
It means I have to do them a favor at some point later.
I know
on,
what
but
that
doesn't
part
concern
means.
You.
I mean, what does it mean that they will help?
I think it means. I mean, they're always kind of vague about things, but I think it means they'll also join in the fight once it gets started. And doing it their way. Mixing in, finding opportunities to sabotage Smack as they arise.
Yeah.
They're not going to stick out their neck any more than they have to, but they're going to lend their support.
Shit. Okay, we might have a shot then. Man, that is good news. That's some really good news. Oh God. All right. Well, we're gonna have to get some actual plans together. Okay, I got some people I need to talk with. I assume you're joining in the fray? Can we count on you to be
Yes.
there?
Absolutely. Yeah, we plan to. I'm just wondering if once this all gets started, do you think you can help us get access to the government buildings that SMAC is currently in control of?
Well, I have some scouts out there right now trying to get us some telemetry data on it. You know what? Why don't you head down to our base? We're about to have a strategy meeting a little later this morning, just before afternoon, just before noon. Just before afternoon is noon. Why would I say that? We're gonna have another strategy meeting just before noon. We can just show you the info we have, and this changes things.
Okay, we'll be there.
Anything else, Astro?
I think that's it for now.
All
See
right.
if you can catch a cat nap in between now and then.
Yeah, coffee. Got it. What's in the government? So, from what I understand, the government building is fortified to shit. What's in there that needs salvaging?
I don't particularly know, but I just want to know what SMAC knows. I want to know what information they're protecting. There's got to be archives, there's got to be logs in there that explain exactly what happened to this settlement. And that was our original mission, to figure out
I remember
what the hell
you
happened.
telling me. Okay. I'll bring it up. Like I said, meet us in a few hours down at our main base. We can loop you in on what info we have.
Perfect. All right. See you there.
All right, see you there.
Just imagine the screen. Yeah, closing. All right. Yeah. We got things in motion finally. Anyone object to joining in the fray? I guess I should have asked you before I told him we're gonna help.
Probably, but I mean, what else are we gonna do?
Well,
I mean, if
we did get enough information. We got all the pirate factions united against SMAC. We could leave. I'm sure I can convince Ken to let us go. I think we proved our worth, and they would be okay with us heading out. I just want to put that on the table.
I think.
Didn't we have like a mission or something here?
Well, our mission was to find out what happened to the settlement. We didn't exactly find out, but we picked up a lot of pieces along the way. We definitely have some intel to bring back to Ren.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking, as much as it sucks to be here, and it really sucks to be here, this has been our best shot at getting any information. I mean, who's to say this opportunity will happen again? I mean,
that's how I feel. That's why I want access to these government buildings that SMAC is fortifying. But I just want to, make sure I'm not forcing anyone into something we're not comfortable with. Shall I take silence as
No.
assent?
Well, I mean, I'm uncomfortable fighting those elite soldiers again. That didn't go well last time. Ambush or
Agreed.
otherwise.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at least we won't be on our own this time.
One other thing we should probably keep in mind is Smek's already proven that they can set up traps and have the underground part of the city pretty mapped out, or at least know how to travel there, because they set up those bombs before, right?
Right.
We should probably make sure there isn't more of those shenanigans going on, especially under a battlefield where, you know, maybe all of the pirates' army is located marching on Smek.
Yeah, agreed. Probably it would be good to have some teams sweep the underground areas while, White Rabbit's making their advance. Sounds like they did send out some scouting parties and got some telemetry data. Maybe they already have some information regarding that.
I'm fine with that. That's an option. Do we want them to know, though? Smek, I mean. If we send out teams scouting out the underground, they've got those cameras, probably other places. If they do have something set up, they'll be watching it. If we don't want them to know, my mech is very lightweight and it has that invisibility drive to it. Shouldn't show up on most scanners.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Let's bring it up to White Rabbit when we go meet them.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right, well, meeting's in a couple hours. I'd say get some breakfast if you haven't had already, and we'll leave in just a few here.
What time is it actually? Like,
I just assume it's morning because we're meeting before noon.
Oh.
So that's all I need to know, really.
Well, you guys went out last night, you went to a concert, and then this morning, and some repair work happened over the night as well. You guys should all be fully repaired now. Curry helped getting you all your supply lists picked from the various bins in the storage area. So you guys had everything you needed to get, back to full repair. I remember we ran a scene with Orion talking to Artemis about, some tests he had run. So I know that all that happened last night. And then this morning we had Astro talking to Kingfisher and Bet Noir. So I assume that happened morning. Like after you guys woke up. Yeah. So it's probably 10-ish.
Sounds about right.
So you're saying waffles are still an option?
I mean, if I said 3 in the afternoon, waffles would still be an option.
I guess that's true.
Waffles are always an option.
Evelene goes up and starts making waffles. You guys want waffles?
Sure. Just don't burn them like you did last time.
It's one time. One time.
One time is all it takes.
Evelene, you get to the mess hall.
Oh no.
And you go to find the stuff you need to make waffles. As you get there, what are you looking for specifically? Are you making from scratch waffles, or are you getting just a frozen box of waffles out of storage?
I mean, it's like the instant mix stuff, It's like the flour, you don't need to do an egg, it's only like the mix and water.
Okay, so the mix.
Yeah.
You're just getting waffle. Do you have a waffle maker?
I don't see why not. I mean,
I just want to know how much effort Evelene is going through here to try and make waffles.
I'm scared that we have to go into this much detail. Like, I'm waiting for something to happen that's relevant to the plot.
I think you have to do like a hack or fix check to see if you can craft a impromptu waffle maker using spare parts from around the ship.
You know what? I actually love that idea. Can we retroactively say that Evelene has jury-rigged a waffle iron in the past, and we're using that?
Mostly I want to just know how much effort you're putting into making these waffles, if it's a thing that takes you a couple of minutes, or if it's a thing that takes you like 30 minutes.
Yeah, Evelene's like, I just want to have an easy morning, so I would imagine there has to be an existing waffle iron.
Okay. You get all the stuff, you get the mix ready, you get the waffle iron ready, and then Jessica walks in. She's like, "Oh, good morning, Evelene."
Hey, want waffles?
Oh, sure. Did you guys need breakfast?
I don't know. I just wanted waffles.
Well, go sit down. I'll finish up in here.
I mean, I'm already here, and like, I got the waffle iron. You know, my homemade waffle iron.
She looks at the waffle. She looks at the weird scrap heap that you call a waffle iron.
Yes.
Raises one eyebrow.
Look,
okay.
They taste great in the end anyway.
Now I'm curious. So, sure, I will also have waffles. She like laughs a little bit to herself as she finishes the sentence. She looks warily at where the waffle iron mess is plugged into the wall, as if she doesn't trust it, and then walks away.
Do I need to roll a dice to make waffles?
No.
Thank you.
But you can tell me how it goes.
They're not. I mean, I like to think of it like you're at a buffet, and there's like that waffle iron. Like, they're not amazing waffles, but they're good enough.
Okay, so hotel waffles.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal a Game Grumps joke here and go, "Hey, Billy, what was your favorite episode of CCRPG?" "I like the one where they talk about waffles for a really, really, really long time."
Well, you come out with waffles, Evelene.
This all started because before the recording, I found out it was Waffle Day today, March 25th. I apologize.
You should. You should.
I regret
to date the episode.
I regret keep bringing up waffles.
At least he didn't say the year. It could be any waffle day throughout time.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Waffle Day 2047 or something right now.
Yeah, or 1980.
I mean, it couldn't be Waffle Day 2047 because we all know by that point waffles will have been made illegal. But some of us still know how to get our fix with these illegal waffle makers.
Yeah, this all goes back to Lancer lore. Like, it all starts in 2047 with the great waffling.
Yeah. All right, so you guys have had breakfast. I've now fast forwarded. What are we doing now? I hope you got the waffles out of your system.
All right. So once everyone's ready, I'll just be like, all right, let's head out. I'm not planning on taking my mech or anything. I'm just gonna go down to like wherever they set their base camp, and meet up with White Rabbit and Ken.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So are all of you going, I assume?
Yeah, sure.
For sure.
Right, yep. Cool. The four of you make your way into Kingfisher Base. You have White Rabbit Base. You've been here before. It's where your ship is already kind of docked adjacent in like the shipyard. But only Astro has met everyone here before. The rest of you kind of went off to do other things around this area. What you will notice coming in is it's a very prefab base. A lot of these are like very obviously like quick construct buildings. Just like construction buildings that you would see pop up near construction sites and stuff like that. A lot of support buildings and stuff. You do make it to the main building. People barely challenge you, on approach through the base because a lot of people recognize who you are by now, for good or ill. Prior to clearing your names, these might have been angry stares at the knowledge of who you were. Now it seems like people are mostly okay with you being here.
Nice.
But you have made your way to the Central Command building. As you get to the front door, there is the guard, a guard. Astro would know from the last time he is here. There's an armed guard at the entrance, who just kind of like steps up as you guys approach. He has like an assault rifle crossways across his chest, and he's just like, "Hey, you DBC crew?
That's us."
All right, yeah. Talon Flare's inside. He's in the meeting with the boss now. You better get in there. People are angry.
Not at us, I hope.
I don't know, but I can hear the shouting out here.
Okay. That's kind of what I expected. Thanks.
Yeah. Good luck.
Oh.
He like opens the door for you.
I'll walk in.
All right. As you walk in, you do indeed hear shouting coming from up the staircase.
Is it one voice in particular that is shouting?
It is a very deep, loud voice yelling. You can't make out the individual words right now.
Okay. I'll just follow the shouting.
All right. You guys make your way up to the top floor, which, Astro, you would remember, is kind of Galleon's suite on the top of the command building. It's kind of an open concept kind of thing. It's the entire top floor is just one big open area that has like a bar and like a central area with like a large table and like a freestanding wall in the center of the area at the end of that conference table that has like a big like display on it and stuff like that. As you guys come up, they're like on this giant display at the end of the conference table. There are two large video calls open on the display, and Galleon is yelling at them.
Do I recognize who's on the video? Yes.
The two people who are on that video that he is yelling at are why did I write this in a separate area? Just want to make sure I have the name right. The two people on the projector are Tepsi Pipinidin.
Okay.
And Cruxcroy.
Oh boy.
Oh, wow.
The first one, who's that again?
That is the leader of Bet Noir, who wears the fox mask.
I'm like, oh boy, he's yelling at them. This is not great.
You catch the end of the most recent tirade as you ascend the stairs, which is something to the effect of basically saying Bet Noir is going to stab us all in the back, and Kingfisher won't even notice because they'll be too busy walking over us on their way to find their bullshit glory.
Oh boy. It's been that much time trying to cultivate this this allyship, and it might end before it even starts.
Ken is at the conference table. He is seated with his head just in his hands, just like shaking his head, just like, oh my God, what is going on here?
Can I walk up to Ken? And
do you make yourselves known as you enter the room?
Oh, okay. What I'll do is I'll just kind of clear my throat.
Galleon spins to see you. Goes, Astro, hey. It is good to see you alive, and I'm glad to recently find out I don't have to kill you.
Yeah. Not as glad as me. Trust me. So,
Good.
yelling at your new allies, I see?
Allies? He looks enraged immediately as you say the word allies.
Just a little joke is all. Just trying to lighten the mood.
As it looks like he's about to turn around and start yelling at them again. Crux Croy, by the way, his image in the scene is one of like frustration, but frustration in the like, I'm going to sit here and let you mouth off, and then if I was in person, I'd punch you in the face kind of grimace to his cast. And you, again, have no read on Tepsi because she is wearing the fox mask.
Right. So I know you all don't see eye to eye on everything, but hopefully enemy of my enemy and all that, we can have a working arrangement.
Working arrangement. That's an interesting way to put things, Astro. We had a working arrangement when you first arrived on the planet, wouldn't you say?
And we still do, I hope.
Can you remind me what the terms of that arrangement were?
Well, you give us protection, and we find you good salvage.
Yeah, okay, I remember that. I remember there being a stipulation as to you staying out of our way, not interrupting our work, and also that you'd help us get more shit out of this. Now what I seem to see is you got a whole lot in our way, Astro, and now we're involved in a war.
Well, I think we...
Can I put my hand on Astro's shoulder for a second and whisper to him? This guy is a narcissist. Do not say that he's wrong, whatever you do.
I'll nod to you. You're like my lawyer whispering in my ear. And I'll say, I can't argue with that. I do apologize. But I hope that we could all see a silver lining in this, and we did not intend to get in your way.
This is what I like about Astro. He just talks over you and turns to the people on the video call. See, he knows when to admit when he's wrong about something, and he's willing to work on making things better. You know, I wish you guys were more like Astro.
If only.
And at this point, Crux Croy finally just shakes his head as like, listen here, you utter buffoon. We are at war, and you wish to mouth off like this? Put bullets on the field, not words. And Galleon just shakes his head and just says, okay, yeah, sure, sounds pretty, great.
I'll say, to the end of trying to make things right with White Rabbit, we want to be on the field with you and help any way we can.
At this point, Ken stands up, like taking the momentum you've made by interrupting things, and goes, you know what? I think Astro is right. Maybe we should just reallocate this energy. He like looks around nodding at everyone. And let's talk about how much Smack deserves to get the shit beaten out of them, huh?
Hear, hear. Evelene raises her fist.
Galleon nods slowly but suspiciously.
I think we can all at least agree that Smack and that stupid clown needs the shit kicked out of them.
At this, both Galleon and Crux Croy both seem to have agreed to something for the first time in what you assume has been this meeting, because they both like are listening to you and like nod slightly, like they're listening. Ken like motions you guys over, like get over here and like get over to this table and be part of this meeting now.
I'll walk over and sit down.
So, I'm going to go ahead and just give everyone some information because I think we all need it. So, you hear, by the way, out of the side of your ear, from the video call from Tepsi, when Ken says he wants to give everyone some information, you hear her chuckle under her breath slightly. Listen, these are all just toxic groups trying to work together. They're not great at it.
Clearly.
Galleon looks like he's about to get angry, but Ken just starts talking about the information before he can blow up. So we sent out some recon drones, and you're not going to like what we found in the downtown district. Smack have gotten really good at turning what appears to be an urban environment into a fortress. It is... I have only seen stuff like this on places where there were corp wars.
Well, they are pulling in support from splinter corp groups after all.
Ken, to kind of illustrate the point, pulls up a kind of captured drone image of City Hall. In front of you, you see what was once the austere domain of bureaucrats and officials is now a fortress. There is what appears to be, in the center of the frame, a gigantic Second Empire-styled building with a large clock tower rising from the center. It seems to be built out of brick and white marble with limestone. But now, also carved into the building, is steel reinforcements, barbed wire, and concrete of the occupying pirates. It appears that the surrounding buildings have had the same treatment. In following drone shots, you also see where just beyond where the giant rift opened up on the border between Smack and the other pirate crews, because you remember there were two other large explosions that Smack at the time used as justification for like, hey, we got hit too, guys. It couldn't have been us. You now realize those two giant crevices now make excellent natural ground fortifications because just, a few 100 feet back from those crevices, you now see a gigantic wall. Like a giant fortified prefab wall built blocking the entrance into the deeper part of Smack's territory.
That's across from the crevice?
Yes. So remember, to the north is White Rabbit. To the south is Kingfisher. To the east is Smack. Basically, the long border where Smack touches both Kingfisher and White Rabbit, their western flank, two giant crevices opened up because two other large explosions happened under their territory. They have turned those sinkholes into defended areas.
Got it. Looks like Smack's been busy.
Yes, it does.
The other thing I was talking about with my crew that we're a little worried about is the control they have in the underground parts of the city.
Can I talk now? Is everyone else done with the bluster? I'm sorry, maybe I dozed off a little bit. Tepsi speaking up finally. We are also aware of the underground area, and I assumed that none of you would think to look there, so kudos to whoever on your team came up with that idea, Astro. I'm glad you're not idiots. We have been...
I'll just pat KESTRAL on the back here.
We have been keeping tabs on communications, and yes, it does seem there seems to be something happening down below. Worryingly, there appears to be a coded transmission that was sent out subspace from the city below.
Coded transmission. Were you
Yes,
able to
a
decode
long-range
it?
Nope.
Oh, I'm surprised. Feels like
Oh,
that's
yes.
something you guys excel at.
It would be, and I'm sure we can crack it. I just don't know how useful it will be 2 months from now.
You're saying 2 months from now, that's how long it'll take to reach its destination?
No, that's how long it will take to crack the encryption on this thing.
Wow.
It appears that what we didn't know is in the city below, there is the remnants of a Terratella ESCOM tower.
What is an ESCOM tower?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Astro. An ESCOM tower is when big bad corporations have things they really don't want you to know.
Interesting.
She you can tell that she's like smiling under her mask as she talks to you about this.
Like one of those things where there's a smile in their voice.
Oh yeah, you can hear it in her voice. Yeah.
You can sense the smugness.
So no, I wasn't able to decode it. But I don't know if that matters, actually, because the more important information I've been able to figure out from intercepting this transmission is where it's headed to.
Whoa, don't keep us in suspense.
But I love suspense.
I've gathered that.
Everyone at the table, including the other including Crux Croy on the video call, just looks like exasperatedly frustrated.
And normally I love suspense too, but
So Evelene has quietly poured some alcohol in her drink. Like she sat at the table and just
to take out a
pouring
flask.
booze in.
Yeah.
She passes it to Ken. You want some?
Ken takes it and looks at you confused until he catches the smell coming off of it, and then he smiles at you and nods thankfully, and then takes a swig before he passes it back.
Evelene just winks.
But yeah, so what she will say is, oh well, the thing is, we found out that where the transmission is going. Hold on.
Where the transmission is going is somewhere.
Dot is important. Somewhere very
and shocking.
It's going into space.
She's just still drawing out the suspense. Also stalling for time.
While she looks it up on her other screen, you see her looking off to the side, being like,
"Where it's going?
I had it written down. Where is it? It was right here." Because that's what Bob is doing right now.
Just see notebooks flying in the background.
So yeah, after pulling up her information, she will say, well, like I said, it's unknown what they sent, but we do know it was sent to the Man-O-War. And you see the other people in the room who aren't you all get concerned. Like, it's an immediate and unmistakable response of concern.
Okay, fill me in here. What's the Man-O-War?
Ken will actually lean in to explain to you on behalf of the others in the room. So SMAC is large, but they're also pretty disorganized. What we have here on planet isn't the size of them. They probably have dipshits off on every part of the galaxy, just making trouble for anyone who gets near them. The Man of War, or Man of War, as I've never known how to say it, is their central relay and dispatch. It is like a space base / communication tower. The only time something like this happens is if they're calling for a swarm.
A swarm? You mean reinforcements?
It's worse than that. It's like calling for an all-out havoc at the end of a battle. It's like pointing a bunch of crazy people at a place and saying, the rules don't apply, go nuts.
Well, shit.
And if they just send out a message to the Man of War, that means they're probably calling the rest of Smack here.
And we already know they've been pulling some people from this mercenary group. So, seems like we better act fast.
You see on the video, Crux Croy nods and says, I think Astro has the right of it. We're left with one option. We kill the clown before they arrive.
Hear, hear. Evelene raises her fist again.
Galleon, is sitting in his chair nodding. He's like, that's the first sensible thing I've heard today.
Look at that, common ground. Doesn't it feel good?
Are you sitting next to Ken, Astro?
Yeah, but I'd say it as an aside to Ken. Sort of.
Oh, okay. If you said it too loud, he was going to kick you under the table.
Don't worry, Dyne kicks Astro under the table for Ken.
Galleon will stand up and he's huge. He's a huge guy. He looks like he could be a professional wrestler. He's tall, but his stature is that of a box because his shoulders are so wide and so muscular. And he's wearing a suit, but it looks like the kind of suit you would wear in a wrestling ring. It looks like it fits him, but it looks like he could tear it off of his chest at any moment.
Yeah. I'm kind of imagining Dave Bautista.
Yeah, something along those lines. He stands up and he goes, all right, then. We take the fight to them. I mean, what's so hard about that? They're a bunch of assholes anyway. We could take them. Ken says, yes, I'm sure we could take them. But don't you think they deserve getting really stomped into the ground? And you see that Galleon kind of nods slowly. He goes, yeah. Okay, cool. So if that's the case, Galleon, maybe we can, I don't know, do more with the cooperation of the other groups involved. And Galleon looks a little more suspicious when he says that.
I'll say, listen, the fact is, Smack isn't playing fair. They have an outside group helping them with crazy technology. So normally this situation, I'm sure, wouldn't call for you working with other factions, but we gotta even the odds somehow.
And I think with that, the meeting can essentially start to really proceed strategy-wise. Mm-hmm. So we don't have to dive down in detail on what every specific person recommends and who gets angry about what. Imagine it's just a very fraught strategy meeting.
Right.
But coming out of it, you learn a few things about the different groups and what they're good at. You know that the White Rabbit is just a bar, across the field kind of baseline group, right? They're not as numerous and as shitty as Smack, right? Smack is more about large numbers, lower quality, right? So they're like slightly lower numbers, but just kind of like normal. Like if there was a bar average group, that's White Rabbit, okay?
Okay.
You learned from Kingfisher that they are basically they kind of operate kind of like the knights they purport themselves to be, right? They work better in things like charges, in taking enemies by the flank, and like, you know, driving into formations at force, right? You find out that they have some elite units that are, you know, they're kind of like named pilots who they annoyingly refer to as their knights, right? So you do get that kind of sense from them. It is harder to pin down what Bête Noire is really committing to, but they have said that they will do, you know, interdiction and support, like field support, while the operations are going on, providing, you know, kind of like up-to-date intel on where everyone is and what's going on during the fighting. Is there anything you think you would specifically want them to focus on, these three groups? Because with the amount that you've been able to pull these groups together, you could probably guide these conversations in a way tactically that works best for you.
So I'll turn to Steve and I'll say, do you want to talk about what you could maybe contribute concerning the underground levels?
I'm curious to know what Bête Noire has and what they've done with it so far. Because maybe I don't need to go down there if that's the case, but
they will. Yeah,
and I'm just saying that out loud.
Okay.
But
yeah,
like I do have a mech that is particularly useful at stealth missions.
Tepsi will say, well, we've mostly been monitoring communications, and we have an idea of what is down there. But because we were falsely accused, we haven't been able to get assets down there. So we don't really have a visual on what's down below.
And I'm assuming everyone here would prefer, no offense to you, Bête Noire, that those assets do not go down there at the moment just yet.
Damn right, says Galleon, crossing his arms.
I'll just kind of give a shrug and go, but there is no issue if I do.
He, like, ponders and just, like, shrugs non-committally. And Talonflare says, I mean, you guys have kind of proven that there's one thing we can rely on. You're not working with Smack.
Yep.
Well, before I do, I would like to know where the main fighting force will be, because the thing I'm most concerned about is another bomb going off right under everyone's units.
Okay. So, yeah, they'll pull up kind of like the top-down view of the various, like, where they could go in on Smack. You know, you see kind of the urban centers where there's the large buildings and, like, where the downtown district is. On the image, you see like the long line that they've added to show like the prefab wall that's been constructed around the whole thing. They'll even have like highlighted on there where the two large sinkhole/ravines are headed into their area. And they'll kind of like outline these on the tactical map in front of you. And what it seems to be coming to is, unless you guys want them to change tactics, what they think they would be good at is if White Rabbit like takes the lead in terms of like manpower, because they just have the most people of the people who's on your side, and like providing a front, like a battle line to go up against Smack and push them back. Kingfisher kind of like providing support and like cavalry charges, basically like operating as an actual mechanized cavalry and having units go here and there to like tip the odds in your favor where they can. So they start pointing out on the borderline in between Kingfisher, Smack, and White Rabbit, where would be the best areas to attack.
All right. And who can I tell from the video calls if there's other people in the rooms in the other command centers, other
yes,
gang bases or whatever?
So you do know in Kingfisher, he is just taking this call on the bridge of his ship. So there is probably like 12 other people on that bridge with him who are like his various knights and operators and stuff who are working the other consoles in that bridge. Tepsy appears to be in a small dark room, but you are unsure.
Okay. And then what about this room? Is it just Ken and Galleon?
It is Ken and Galleon and you all.
Okay. My next concern is that Smek has spies. I don't want to begin to distrust any of you or any of your men, but it is something that we should keep in mind.
That's okay. I'll do it for you. Galleon points the screen at Tepsy and says, I still haven't heard a compelling reason why you won't backstab us.
Assurances during wartime do make sense.
Tepsy like shrugs in her video and just is like, they falsely accused us of doing all of this. They were going to have you all turn on us and try to fight us. I mean, don't we want revenge too?
That does make sense, Galleon, if I may call you that. I mean, imagine
sure,
if
kid.
they had said that about you.
You're not a kid, but he calls you kid.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, assurances aside, I vote we distract them. I say that we use transmitters from White Rabbit in one of these areas that we can hide them in to make it look like we're going to be coming from an angle at Smack. And then when they deploy troops around that, we can hit from a different side.
Ken nods, is like, I like that. I like that a lot. We know already that the rank and file of Smack are already loose with their own transponder signals. I assume they're not going to pay enough attention to what's going on to like really drill down on it. At the very least, it'll buy us some time.
The second phase of this is deciding where we actually attack from. And if I can get some more intel on that and maybe some help or equipment from some of you all, I'm kind of looking at Bet Noir when I say this. If we can clear out an area under where Smek will be, I suggest we do the same thing that they did to you all that we do to them under the army where we're attacking from.
Galleon will turn to the others and see, see, I told you turnabout was fair play. We should just blow them up from below.
Well, it's not going to be as simple as blowing up all of them, but if we can blow up a big enough part of their army under them, then I think my team could take some explosives down there and get that done. It's not like we're not going to hit resistance down there.
Ken will turn to you and say loud enough that like Galleon can hear. So he's telling you, but he's also like, you can tell, reiterating a point he told to Galleon earlier. And he will say, that's a great idea. I'd love to do that, but it's thick going. Like, there is a lot of space in between the surface and that city down below, which is why we didn't know about it at first. Whatever those bombs were so destructive, they were able to take out the supports for the city. Do you have more of that? Because we don't.
Have we done any kind of testing on the liquids we got from that?
There's fluid.
Yeah,
the protoplast.
I'm trying to remember what it was called. Yeah.
Oh, the Salient medium?
The Salient medium.
Dyne, I believe, has done some tests on it.
Yeah,
Okay, and
but it's not
related or anything. It's not like the same stuff. Okay.
No, it has a completely different use. I wouldn't say it's not going to create the boom you need.
But Ken will follow and be like, but I love the idea. It'd be great. It's just, if we don't have the firepower and they already know that trick because they've used it on us, I don't know how simple it'll be to turn that back on them unless we have a really solid game plan going in, which if we can figure one out, I'd love to hammer one out, but we would need to obtain the materials to do that and get it to a place which I assume they're watching the underground.
What if our team, we may not be able to set off explosives that powerful, but what if our team goes underground and makes sure they're not placing their own bombs or making any moves down there? We may even...
I mean, if you guys can get some solid intel without like giving away the trick, I mean, that's something we're gonna want.
I'd be down for that.
Maybe we can even find an ingress point to their big fortified area from underground.
Huh.
Well, I'm going to be honest, Astro. If we can, that'd be great. But we also have a clock on our hands now. This all needs to happen and go down before the swarm gets here. Otherwise, we should just pack up and leave before they arrive and let Smack have whatever they're here for. Because none of us are getting out of here if they get here before we finish things off.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but even if we finish things, we'd still have to leave, right? Even if the Pound Foolish is dead, they're still probably coming, just without leadership this time.
Yeah. All the senior leadership is here, as far as I'm aware. So if we do take Pound down, and his officers, and whoever this Ken and Donahan people are, then we have to assume that will be good for us. But I'm going to be honest. I've seen the aftermath of where swarms have happened. It ain't peachy. So if we let that happen, I don't know if you guys are going to find anything here either. And there's no way we want to be here when that happens either.
Yeah, that makes sense. Where would we be most useful to you? Should we join you on the front lines? Or would you like us to try to infiltrate or something?
Ken will point to an area on the what they have of the intel of like Smack's area, like their general fortifications and like territory. Actually, you're the only ones I know of who've successfully fought the pit wolves so far. And it looks like that is who is at the base of the city hall. He'll point at the overland map and point to where City Hall is, and he'll like circle an area on the map. And he's like, as far as we're aware, this is where the landing site is and the camps are for the pit wolves. They seem to be segregated and apart from the rest of the Smack forces.
Yeah, I got the sense they weren't well integrated with the rest of the forces. So you want us to hit this?
Well, it's more complicated than that. We're going to have to get there first. He draws this line along the wall that leads into Smack territory again and says, we're going to have to get past these defenses. We're going to have to get a critical mass of our people past these defenses. in order to really make a difference. He points to a couple of different points. There are a couple of points along this wall that are good ingress points. I want us to be able to take a few of them. So that's going to take our top operators all hitting these different areas simultaneously, and I'd like you to be one of those teams.
Works for me.
Once you've taken this area, if you can hold down control, the cavalry can arrive. They can hold down the area from there, and then you can move further in. The sooner we take care of these, and he points towards the people around the tower, the sooner we'll have their base under our command.
All right. Yeah, I think I'm game with that plan.
If he thinks it's a good idea, he looks behind him at Crux Croy, who's on the call. He says, I'd like you to send some of your people along with each one of these frontline forces, these strike groups, in order to back them up to keep extraneous reinforcements off of them while they take these zones. Crux nods and goes, yeah, I can put people in the field. Once they assault those points, we can deploy people in the area to keep reinforcements off their back as much as we can. What do you think? Turns to your group.
I'll turn to the rest of them, or turn to the rest of my team, and I say, I think it's a good plan. Any thoughts from the rest of you?
I think it's as good as we've got right now. I mean, fortunately, we don't have anything really obvious to go after, so...
Well,
I don't think anything's really going to change after I scout the below area, but if it does, we can bring it up then, I suppose.
Yes.
True.
And the other thing I like about this is if we are on the front lines, we could get into their fortress sooner. Maybe that'll buy us some time to gather intel about what they're trying to protect there.
It comes to me that we could probably try to capture our pit wolf and see what they know, but
well, we tried that
We've
already.
already seen what happens when they're captured. It's not going to happen.
That'll happen again. It'd be great to go straight to them and figure out what's going on, but I guess they're not going to be cooperative.
One of them had a suicide. The one that was there had a suicide pill.
Exactly.
It's not going to happen. It's just, if we fight them, we kill them. That's it. That's pretty much all we can do.
Yep.
I'll turn back to Ken and say, we're on board.
All right. I'll start drawing things up. Or he looks at you, Steve, when he says this. Is like, are you still willing to go down below and make sure they don't have any nasty surprises in store for us?
I'll nod and go, I'm not going to be risking myself down there best I can, but yeah.
Yeah, don't. We can't afford to lose anyone.
Is Galleon looking antsy or anything, or is she fine?
Galleon is, for lack of a better word, looking petulant. He didn't get his way, and he's kind of annoyed by it.
Okay. Noticing that, I'll just go, Galleon, you've got a good smart man working under you. Kudos.
Yeah, I only hire the best. What, you gonna work for me and be some shitheel? Nah. He looks at Ken and slaps him on the shoulder approvingly. He's like, only the best for my stable.
You're really good at picking him.
Steve, you have completely turned his emotional framework around, like, instantly. He now feels like he's responsible for coming up with this good plan.
Yeah. Narcissists are both the easiest and hardest people to deal with in life.
Steve is the Galleon whisperer.
I have a very narcissistic friend, so I kind of know how to work around them. So.
All right. Well, we don't have to play out any more of the specifics. We can assume that you guys know what you're talking about and kind of go over like coordinates, timing, things like that. If you have any questions about those things, you can just ask me those later. But your characters get filled in on all the details and kind of like what to expect. What I am more interested in is if the attack is happening in a day or two, what are you doing in the meantime?
All right. Well, Steve is gonna scout ahead. I'll talk. So I assume after the meeting, like I'll get everyone to huddle together to kind of discuss our own plans in the meantime. And I'll say to Steve, so you're gonna scout ahead. I don't like sending you out on your own, but I'm guessing in this case you're probably work best on your own. Am I right?
I don't plan on fighting anyone down there. And if anyone else came with me, then it's less likely we would be undetected. So
all right,
it's probably best that I do it alone.
Seems fine. At the sign of the slightest bit of resistance or danger, you turn back. We can't afford to lose you.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. I guess we'll wait back here and just get prepped for battle then.
I don't know if I gave it to Steve before, but I would give him all of the data on the map that we created during our previous excursion underground. That way, he would at least know where he's been and can figure out where to go from there.
I don't know if we can work this. We're away from the meeting room now.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if we can work this or not, but is there any way that while I'm doing that, you guys can check to see if they're putting units around where we're planning on putting the fake entry into? I don't know how to explain it better than
like
that. The diversion that we were planning on doing.
You want to know
checking to see if the diversion worked.
Yeah, I'm still a little concerned that battle plans could get leaked.
Yeah, we could.
For instance, if they do put people there, I'd be less concerned. If they don't put more people on that side of the wall expecting an invasion, then we should be a little bit more concerned and maybe, I don't know, figure out something to do if that happens, because they know what our plans are then.
Or if they just put just the right amount of people to try to stave off suspicion, but still not as much as you might expect. I don't know how to draw that line, but I agree it's worth monitoring.
If Pound Foolish alone was making the calls, I wouldn't be concerned with that. But since Donovan is there, then yeah, they could potentially. But if we notice something concerning, we need to contact just the leaders of all the groups and maybe change our attack to come from the diversion.
Yeah, we can see what we can do on that end. We could probably monitor that.
All right, so you guys come up with these plans. You guys, the other three of you, Orion, Chimera, and Comet, you are going to follow up to see if there's any loose lips sinking ships on your side of the information line here. And then KESTRAL, you're going to head down below to see if you can find out more about if anything happening under there is cause for concern. Is that right?
That's the plan.
All right. KESTRAL, one more thing. In addition to the mapping info that Orion has given you, you also now have the data on where that Terratella ESCOM tower is down below as well. That was something that was shared during the meeting. Bet Noir, when they were like, oh, well, we detected this transmissioning from this ESCOM tower we didn't know about. ESCOM is just secure communications. It's a secure communications tower down below. You now know where that is down there as well.
Is it directly under City Hall or adjacent or pretty far away from it?
It is on the smack side of that underground city, but it is not directly underneath City Hall.
You know, it's a shame we can't just take out the tower. I mean, the message has probably already been sent. Message has already been sent at this point, but too bad we can't just cancel it. You know.
Well, that's just it. Is we can't cancel it by destroying the tower, but they might have a cancel signal to send.
Oh, that's a thought.
I don't know. Did any of them have any idea how long it would take them to get here from an Nano Ward or whatever? Or are they coming from everywhere? Are they meeting up first, then moving as a huge swarm unit? Do we know?
We don't know, but I just get the feeling with how disorganized they normally are, the less organized they are, the harder it is to deal with them if they're just a massive group, right?
Yeah, I got the impression that they're just all heading towards a set of coordinates, which is us.
And then shoot anything that's not smack.
Here's a thought. What if we could send the wrong coordinates? You know, like on the other side of the planet.
I don't see how we could spoof us being like that.
Yeah,
that would probably take a lot of work.
Not work, but I was just toying around with some ideas.
It's
maybe a different planet, but
yeah.
Or no bad ideas here. It might be something I could manage, but you know, first we would have to take control of this ESCOM tower, and then we can see what we're dealing with.
Well, that's if we're able
What's
to.
the point?
What's the point?
That just seems like
of sending them.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's worth it, but I'm just spitting out ideas.
No, I mean for them. Why are they doing this? They've either already gotten what they want, and they're calling it a swarm, or I just don't understand.
Well, they probably figured if a swarm was called, they'd be able to either forcefully remove the other three groups or make them retreat, both of which seems advantageous. If they're fortifying and not salvaging, that seems more of a long-term benefit, not a short-term.
That's what I was going to say. They're definitely in it for the long haul. So they're definitely laying their claim and making sure no one else can take it.
I wonder. It's a big thing, right? It sounds like all of SMEC coming into one place and swarming it. That sounds like a big deal.
I don't think it's SMEC at this point. Like I think SMEC is the tool they're using to make it happen. But I honestly doubt this is all SMEC's plan.
Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
It almost feels like a cover-up. Like Donovan and Mark can use this as a diversion to wipe out witnesses and just leave this place with what they wanted. No one being the wiser. So it's probably very important for them to get out of here without other people knowing they were here.
If anything, I'd love to do some investigation after this is over with, assuming we survive. I'd be interested to see if there's any other planets seeing this kind of activity where like an organization, corporo or pirate or whatever, just, taking control over an abandoned location,
Well, here's what concerns me. I don't think these corporate goons even want SMEC remaining when this is done.
Probably. They probably are going to kick the bucket shortly after.
Yeah, well, you get them all gathered in one place in a big swarm. What would you do to take care of it?
Yeah.
I could think of a few different ways.
It doesn't involve blowing up a mine, okay?
Okay, that's one of them.
It might involve blowing up the whole damn planet. Is that like a thing, Bob, that like I'm aware is possible, like blowing a planet up?
The most devastating planet-based things that have happened in this universe's history that you all are aware of from Cygnus State history are devastating orbital bombardments, which have rendered planets uninhabitable,
yeah.
but you have never seen anything that has destroyed an entire planet. Like a planet destroying thing is still like in the science fiction of this universe.
Right. Okay. Be concerned if we see a moon coming out of nowhere, maybe.
Yeah,
that's no moon.
If you see no moon, and then all of a sudden you see a moon that may not be a moon, be concerned. But no, that's still science fiction in this universe. People have ruined planets.
Jump to that conclusion.
Yeah, people have ruined planets. People have ruined them via toxifying them, via destroying their ecosystems, via destroying their atmosphere and things like that. Because people are still people, even in outer space, they still do the same bullshit. But destroying an entire planet is still something, as far as you're aware, is beyond you.
Yeah, but you've got all of these pirate crews on a very specific location on the planet, and attacking one area is from orbit is not out of the question.
And also, dealing with this strange technology, it's fair to wonder if they're about to unleash some kind of unprecedented amount of damage to this planet.
I hate to bring this up, but maybe we should have the kid look into gates nearby and if they're activating and if we have anything showing up or something, if he can.
Yeah, and I can help him with that. Oh, wait, gate. Oh, like jump gates, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because
if they're... My concern is they're having SMEC come in to wipe everything out and then just bringing in, a warship, like a capital ship or something, and just clean the planet. Just wipe it clean because they get what they want. And then the corporate can just walk away. And get rid of a bunch of space pirates at once. Because, my understanding is that these guys are, infesting stars all over the place. Gathering them up and killing them like this would be fucking great for the corporate people, right?
As far as you're aware, the Free Space of the Free Space Pact, SMAC is the largest and most disorganized group. It is largely an organization of independent pirate groups that are just causing a ruckus all over the place. That was the group you guys fought in the pre-campaign test mission.
Yeah.
Well, if wiping everything out was their only goal, what are they so interested in that they're fortifying a whole area around it?
Astro, that may not be a question we get answered until after this conflict. So I think that's something we worry about then.
I think speculation isn't going to help us too much at this point.
No, I agree. I just think we need to remember our main objective here is to find out what they're doing, and we need to get into the government buildings if we can, and see what kind of intel we can gather.
Well,
I still got a bad feeling about all this, but I agree.
Let's worry about that when we get there.
All right. So let's take this forward a little bit. Do we want to go to what you guys are doing in the meantime before the pre-battle planning stuff, or are there specific scenes you guys wanted to have before that?
I mean, yeah, I'll have some things I want to do in regards to talking to oh Lord, I just am not remembering.
Ruination Conditioning?
Ruination Conditioning. How could I forget that name? My
of
goodness.
all the proper nouns of all the proper nouns I could have forgotten today, why is his the one I remembered?
No one wants to remember him.
Yeah, so I want to talk to Ruination Conditioning, and then I'll also want to personally try to monitor what Steve was asking us to do, to see like if they send any troops in response to our diversion or not.
Oh, okay. So you're going to handle the battlefield stuff, and you're going to have RC tech out the warp gate stuff.
Yeah, like see what's happening outside of the planet.
Cool, absolutely. And Steve, what is your major objective going underground? What are you going to see? Where are you going to see it? And what is your kind of stance doing so?
Any kind of mobilization, just like they are watching out for us coming from there. I want to see if they're mobilizing anything or having any kind of movements underground. I want to know if there's any kind of setup for these bombs or anything like they used last time in different areas around. Anything out of the ordinary beyond those two things. Ideally, they would be setting up one of those bombs, and it's far enough away that we could take it and then use it for the original plan, right? That would be like the dream. Or my original plan, I should say.
All right. KESTRAL, I would like you to make a gather information roll, please.
Gather information roll. Okay. Are there I can't really ask this without I'll ask it anyways. Are there troops down there? Is it a strange situation, me traveling down there and trying to be stealthy?
I would have to to be cards on the table. Yes.
Okay. Then I would ask to invoke Stay Cool. I know it's not information, but it's avoiding detection.
Yeah.
Perform a task that requires concentration, dexterity, speed, or precision under pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. And in this situation, I'm going to go ahead and go with that for sure.
Okay.
I'm going to just have you roll.
Okay. That was a poor roll.
Okay.
It's lucky.
I mean,
lucky number 7.
Can I?
Not how it works.
In my dreams, it does.
Because like we can push rolls, right?
Oh yeah, you can.
This feels really bad. I rolled a 1 and I have a +6 to the roll, so it came out as a 7.
So here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you something right now. So gather information does give you an option on a 9 or less that still could get you some information, but know that pushing a roll means that it instantly becomes risky, meaning on a 10 through 20, you'll get a downside even if you get a 10 through 20. So if you push for risky, on a 10 through 20, you get an extra downside, but if you get a 20 plus... But if you get a 20 plus...
When you say 10 through 20, does that include 20 or exclude?
No, 20 and up is good. It's a 10 through 19, really, that still can screw things up. And if you push a roll and get like less than 10 again, that's bad.
So, let's see.
But if you want to push the roll, and you're right, you have a really good modifier on this, and give me something really creative or good, I could see you getting a bonus to the roll, like an accuracy to it. If there's a reason why you think an accuracy should be applied.
Okay. I'm gonna ask to be a jerk here and let me think about that for a second, and you handle someone else's downtime thing.
That sounds great. I will do that.
Right.
What we're gonna do then is we are going to go to who do you think of the three of you comes across an argument on the DBC?
An argument?
Yeah, there's an argument happening. Which of the three of you stumbles into this argument?
Sure, I can do it.
Evelene, as you're preparing the coming days, Steve is gone. Steve is going down to do his recon mission. You're getting things prepped. You're making sure the mechs are in tip-top shape, as is your kind of duty on the ship. Things are, back at full repair, but now you're making sure they're all geared up just the way you need to do the kind of mission you're doing. Astro is working on, Astro and RC are working on some things, which is why you get a little concerned when you hear RC's voice down the hallway ahead of you, just obviously like very angrily, like in a boasting way, kind of like saying something that you can tell even without hearing the words sounds like pompous and stuck up. That's a tone that is often used by RC, so you've come to know it well.
It's fairly common. Is it Curry?
Do you go investigate?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You round the corner, and at the end of the hall, Curry has RC by the collar, like he's grabbing him by the front of the shirt, and has, with one arm, lifted him up and pressed him against a wall. Like, it looks like Curry is about to beat the shit out of RC. But you'll notice RC does not look at all worried. He's looking down at Curry, just super fucking smug.
Evelyne's gonna kind of walk into the room and say, like, what's going on?
Curry drops RC, just like immediately, like almost like he's been caught doing something. Curry like lets go of RC. RC like drops to the floor and like pats himself off. And Curry says, "It's nothing, Evelene. Maybe you should get back to work. Me and RC were having a conversation."
Yeah, you don't tell me what to do. What's going on?
RC pushes Curry out of the way and Steps is like, "I will gladly tell you what's going on. This," he looks at Curry, "oaf hasn't been telling us something."
Evelene kind of cocks her head to the side, not 100% believing him, but like, go on.
Curry is like, "Listen, Evelene, you know this guy. He's not trustworthy. He's a huge asshole. He makes everyone's lives miserable. Just don't listen to him."
Yeah, well, I like having evidence to use against him later in case I ever need to convince Astro to kick him off the ship, so go on.
RC steps up and says, "Well, after Curry so rudely mocked me the other day, and called me a coward and an informant."
Yeah, RC, shut the fuck up and get to the point.
He looks annoyed, but he continues, "Well, I did some digging into his past, and he's not exactly who he says he is."
Okay. You're gonna leave us hanging? Well, what's
Curry,
the
Yeah, Curry does like a motion with his hands, like he's like this was my masterwork. You were supposed to be impressed. And he's like,
well, get on with it.
He says, "Well, I dug into his records, and he's not even Signian."
So
RC just looks befuddled now. He's like, so he's from the FFC. Curry says, you can't prove that. And RC's like, yeah, I can.
I feel like this should be more dramatic than this. I don't give a crap about people's past. He does a good job.
RC has the entire, like, he was like so smug coming into this. He was like super on his shit. He just looks completely deflated. He's like, he could be a spy. He could be a spy for them.
Well, I'll be the judge of that. But I mean, don't go picking fights you're not prepared to back up.
He falsified his entire past. He has records from his childhood that says he was from the Cygnus State so he could get jobs in the Corps.
Evelene kind of looks at Curry. Like, what is Curry's reaction to any of this?
Curry is like looking down, like he's still wearing his like jumpsuit, right?
Yeah.
That he does like maintenance in. It has like oil stains on it and stuff. He's like looking down. He has like his hands in his pocket and is just kind of like not meeting your eyes.
So what you're telling me is this background has any impact on his ability to do his job?
It's a safety thing, Chimera. This could.
I'm going to repeat myself. Is this impacting his ability to do his job? Do you have any evidence that he is doing subpar performance just because of where he's from, where he's born?
Okay, you know what, Chimera?
If you're not going to answer
you are
the question,
wrong person. You are the wrong person to talk to about this. I'm going to tell Astro. And you see Curry, as soon as he says this, reaches out and like grabs RC by the back of his shirt and like throws him into the wall and like holds him against the wall. And you hear RC basically like, see what I'm talking about?
Well, to be fair, you are kind of an ass. You probably deserve it one way or another.
Curry's like, right?
Look, if this was really an issue, well, you know what? No, it's not an issue. RC, you need to get your shit together. No one gives a crap about where he's from. And I'm willing to bet money the Astro is not going to carry either. In fact, if he does, I will have an issue with him. It doesn't matter. And if that is something that matters to you, then maybe you don't belong here at all. All right?
RC just looks befuddled.
So get the stick out of your ass and let it go.
Like, again, a second time, he just looks like deflated. And Curry like takes his hand off of him, and RC just kind of like sways there for a second, no longer being held against the wall. Is like, you guys are gonna get yourselves hurt someday by not taking this shit seriously.
We'll deal with it if the time comes.
Whatever, I'm leaving. And then RC goes to exit.
Yeah, you should have punched him. This is the Curry, by the way.
Yeah. Once Curry's there alone, he's like, come on. He deserves it for more reasons than this.
Yeah. I mean, look, the kid's just annoying. But at the same time, I mean, yeah, no, he's just annoying. I was trying to think of something nice to say about him. It's hard.
But Evelene, are you serious? Is this? In some ways, he's right. If the authorities were to find out about this, they could put me away for a long time. I did a lot of top secret work for Corps back in the core sectors.
Are you doing it now?
He motions around at the DBC, is like, no.
Then we're fine. We're on the level. You regret it. I'm not going to hold it against you. I mean, we might want to let Astro know this just in case, but I mean, I'm not going to narc on you. That's your choice. I have no issue. The past is the past.
Curry like rubs his brows like, wow, well, thank you.
I mean, look. I'll tell you something. Back where I'm from, a lot of people disappear in the mines when they have stuff they don't want people to find out. This is the same deal. I don't question it. If people have their reasons, I'm not gonna prod into them. As long as you're not hurting us or the people around you, I don't care.
Evelene, thank you. That means a lot.
Man, I really do want to punch him now.
Right? It's like his face is calling for it.
Good grief. I was not ready for this.
So, at the end of that scene, Astro, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
What is Astro's reaction when RC comes to you and tells you that Curry is actually from the FFC and has been falsifying his records this whole time?
What's FFC again? I remember.
They are the Federation of Former Colonies. They are the other large space nation that isn't the Cygnus state.
Okay, sure. Well, first they'll be like, oh, hold on, slow down. How'd you find out this? What's going on?
Well, after we got captured by White Rabbit, Curry and I got into a bit of a tussle after I came back, and something seemed off about him to me, so I did a little digging, as I'm wont to do.
All right. Let me talk to Curry about this, but I mean, I don't think this is something we need to worry about right now. We've got enough going on currently.
RC just looks so annoyed. He's like, Astro, if they even find out he's working for us and they find out the information that I found out, then we could be seen as FFC spies. And that's not being in the shit list of a corp group. That's being on the shit list for the Cygnus state.
Yeah, I get it. How hard was it for you to find out this information?
I mean, is anything really hard for me?
Okay,
Being
for
friendly with
us
people?
mere mortals, how hard would it be?
Oh, fuck, you don't have a chance.
Well, then we don't have anything to worry about right now. No one's
Really?
gonna find out.
You just think that... I swear, you and Evelene...
Listen, I'll talk to Curry, right? But I just can't deal with this right now. We have like this entire battle we're preparing for. I can't worry about this. One thing at a time.
All right, fine. But you know what? Maybe lock the doors to your cabin rooms, because we don't know if he's a spy.
Okay, I don't think Curry's gonna like kill us or something.
Have you... He looks at you seriously. It's like, do you see what he did to those people who were attacking the DBC?
Yeah,
I think he can kick your ass, Astro.
I'm sure he can, but he's proved his loyalty to us. So,
all right, maybe you guys are fine with, flying around with a box of dynamite sitting on your ship, but that just seems crazy to me. Do you even want to discuss the fact that you could probably turn him in for a huge bounty?
We are not doing that. Listen, I'm not...
Why?
I'm not happy he lied to me about his background. I'm definitely going to talk to him about that. but we're not turning him in for a bounty. I want to hear his side of the story. Normally, I don't want to have everyone, if they have a past that they want to keep personal, I respect those wishes. But you're not wrong that he could be a liability, so we have to figure out how to handle this. So I just need you to stay quiet about this for now. And let's focus on the mission at hand.
All right, fine. For now, I will hold on to this. But this is going to be a new discussion once we're off planet.
Yeah, fine, whatever. Just make sure you're monitoring those jump gates.
Yeah, I got it.
Focused.
Sure. I'll take care of it.
Great.
He didn't tell Astro that Evelene knows, did he?
He said you and Evelene at one point.
Yeah.
So I'll take.
He did not spell that out specifically, though. No.
Okay.
I'll take from context that he mentioned Evelene, that he probably told Evelene. All right.
Well, I'm going to say after that bombshell, I'm going to go ahead and let you stew a little bit on the implications there, and we'll call this session end for right now. When we come back next session, we'll follow back up with KESTRAL and see what Steve has planned for his recon mission, and see about what it's going to look like for the assault on SMAC forces.
All right.
Good.
All right, well, thanks for joining us. We'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.